that 8% interest is too much for us. It seems our expectations were somewhere else, Martin.
Okay, it's actually 8% is not very high rate. Considering taking a bank loan, which is around 13%.
14 years.
13, 14 plus other additional
yes.
Open charges and hidden charges. It can go even up to 20%. Okay, now when you, most of the hustlers get loans from the mobile app lending apps.
Yeah, sure.
For instance, I usually take some loans pale Tala.
Oh yeah, sure.
And recently, I decided to do some research about the total amount, the cost of borrowing that
loan.
And it goes almost to even over 100%.
Yes.
Yeah. Most of these loaning apps, they charge from between 14% even up to 200% or even 180.
Yeah.
So Hustler Fund is
Those
very
guys
cheap.
will come looking for you.
They won't, because they are good
It's the truth. They know. They know it's the truth.
Yeah, it's the truth. It's even on online. I talk Google to size it too.
Oh yeah, sure.
Cost of Tala loan, cost of you just find those figures. So Hustler Fund is not expensive.
Oh yes.
And the Hustler Fund actually is, I think, the way I've understood it now, it's almost like a government Tala.
Oh yes.
The Tala ya serikali.
Oh, Tala ya serikali.
Only that it is very open, it is very cheap. It also has the component of savings.
Oh yes.
The government says when you borrow like 1,000, you have to repay like a certain percentage that will go into the savings.
2.5%.
It is 2.5.
Yes.
And when you save, government will give you an additional saving of 50% to what you save. For instance, if you save like 100 shillings.
Oh yes.
In the process of borrowing the loan, government will add you like 50 bob. So it is a very creative way of.
And that's an incentive.
It is an incentive.
Oh yes.
Secondly, this fund is called the Financial Inclusion Fund. In short, the government want to bring many people in the bottom of the pyramid into the financial market.
Oh yeah.
So I think it's not a bad thing. Kenyans wanapenanga tu ku criticize, fence sitting and criticize.
But I think they have a point. JimTall.
Yes. Maybe Jim can articulate.
Uwezo Fund. We've had Uwezo Fund. We've had Youth Fund. Most of these funds were more like grants. Of course, there are those guys who have defaulted and all that.
Yes.
But what's your take? What's your comparison? Do you think Hustler Fund is too expensive for the young people?
I don't think Hustler Fund is too expensive, but the reason why I think Hustler Fund is not too expensive, it's because I really doubt even if this Hustler Fund is there. Because for one,
I am.
In 3 days.
I am. When we are talking about empowering the youth and giving the youth access to credit, there are some things that we should. This thing, by the way, was supposed to be like a banking, a SACCO thing, so that you can go with your credentials, with your business plan, and then you give the proposals and you are given the fund.
Oh yeah, sure.
Right now, it's a mobile thing.
But that is what the young people want.
Okay,
we are afraid of the papers.
No,
the paperwork is...
we are afraid of the paperwork, but at the same time, we want to change our fortunes.
Oh yeah, sure.
As when we want to earn a living out of what we create. So if this thing is going to come to a mobile app, and the mobile app has no ability to rate you, whether you can be a serious businessman, what you can do, what you cannot do.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And then we end up like Tala. They've said the limit is between 500 and 50,000. And they've said that the criteria for awarding that credit is performance based, which means the way you pay this loan determines how much loan you're going to be given.
Sure.
So before we go at percentages, first of all, we should ask, the loan is between 500 and 50,000.
Oh yes.
For your credit
Well, I think it's categorized. Right?
Okay, it is. But for you to be, for them to know that you are a disciplined person who can pay the loans in time and in a good, in time and in let's say in timely.
Yeah, sure.
By the time they know
Timely
that,
repayment.
by the time they know that means you are going to start at 500.
Oh, yes.
So that you pay the increase to 700. So that they pay the increase to 1,000.
1,100.
And the maximum limit is 50,000.
So you can get to 50,000 in a year or 2 years.
You can get to 50,000 when the Kenya Kwanza government is out of government. So
that's interesting.
That makes
your
me
perspective is very interesting.
It's not a perspective. That's the reality of how things are. So my question is:
Yes.
Is this money really available? Because
But
if this money was available in the budget, and then you realize we have not gone to the supplementary budget.
JimTall, you should be the most assured person that the money is there, because the CS for MSMEs comes from your county.
I am.
Yes. So you should be the most convinced
I
Kenyan.
am.
Maybe to come in a bit.
Yes.
First, based on what the CS has been saying, based on the information we have in the public domain, is that this hustler fund will be provided by use of the credit scoring technology.
Yes.
Currently, Tala does not require you to provide so much information. They just use maybe information provided by credit reference bureaus and other available information that can help them determine how much risk they can take in giving you this loan.
Sure.
That is why they are charging a lot of high interest rates. But for this one, this is a government loan. Government is not there to make profit. These are the private lenders
Are out there to make profit.
That's why their rates are very high. So I think if government can deploy the same technology, it won't be hard for them maybe even to use the information that they will be provided by M-Shwari, by Safaricom and other telcos to help them determine who to give money or to what amount this or that person can be given. So in terms of skepticism that Jim has,
no, it's not. Martin,
it is okay, but
no, it's not what you say. Because I want to.
just
You
a
see
bit,
JimTall, they call you JimTall Bazenga, and you know there are so many young people who believe in you.
Yes, they are.
You begin doubting the hustler fund.
No, that's why I should tell them the reality on the ground. We are talking about expectations, my friend.
For now,
we are talking about expectations.
For now, maybe what I'm addressing is how the information they are giving us on whether it will be available or on whether it will be successful. That we can leave it to time.
Yeah, sure.
So I'm just saying in terms of how they want to do it. I think it is good if they implement it as they say. It will be a very good thing. In terms of whether this money is too low or too little, I don't think it's too little, because currently, if I look at my hustle zangu, I don't really need. Okay, I need like 500,000 capital to inject into one or two things, but that 500,000 can be broken down into specific items that I want to buy that could cost maybe 10,000, could cost maybe like 5,000. For instance, if you want to go and run an errand that will give you money, maybe you need like 2,000 transport, 3,000 maybe to purchase a few things and come and sell and return it before you now get the 500,000. So, but I don't think...
Martin.
Wait a minute.
Let him finish.
I don't think it's a little money. Sio pesa kidogo. And first of all, this is personal product, personal finance product. They say that they have another product for MSMEs, the micro, small and medium enterprises. So what you are starting off in the Hustler Fund is the personal financing facility.
So I think I said there are categories.
Sio mbaya.
Where does your pessimism?
No, I'm not pessimistic. And you've said there are so many people who look up to me, and they want to hear about the hope. I have hope for the youth, but it's good we say the truth. Martin has just talked about the interest rates being charged by the others. No, not the others. By this Hustler Fund. And he's talked about savings. And I expect Martin, you are a student who has studied finance and accounting, and you know. We've not been given all the details. You are being told that there's a certain percentage that is going into savings, that you are not being told how those savings can be withdrawn, or how those savings can be cashed out and after how long. So there are things that are hidden in that Hustler Fund that the regulations that have been laid out is not easy for a layman to understand. And it's in that regard that I say this Hustler Fund seem to be having some sort of strict measures.
Oh yeah, sure.
No, it's not that they have strict measures. I'm saying those measures are strict.
But it goes back to what you said.
Because I'm
being responsible.
Responsibility. Assume I'm a very responsible person.
Oh yes.
And I intend to take a loan, and I intend to pay the loan on time.
Oh yeah, sure.
And I borrow 50,000 shillings, and I'm a hustler. Which business am I going to do that is going to return 50,000 shillings within 14 days? Unless I'm a drug peddler, or which business, Martin, can you do in 14 days that you are going to refund? See, you're going to refund the 50,000 shillings and you remain with the profit to run.
You can buy goats, you can buy a goat, you can buy...
How long does a goat...
If you are able to borrow...
How long does a goat take to mature? How long does a goat take to mature?
No, we are not saying you keep a goat. We say you buy and sell a goat.
You can buy and sell a goat.
We are talking about this in the context of where we come from. That is Baringo.
Okay, let's say that's it's a very good example, Martin.
Yes.
Let's first
let him finish and then I'll have you.
You are given 50,000 shillings. You want to do business with it. You've been given 14 days to repay the loan, which means you have to work, get this 50,000, repay the loan, and still remain with your own cash that you are going to sustain your business with.
Yes.
Which does not make sense. Unless you have a turnover of about 150,000 or 200,000 in that 14 days, now then you can be able to pay the 50,000.
JimTall, we are talking about people who
that is why
who need 1,000 shillings or 2,000 shillings to run one or two things.
One or two errands,
to buy kuku. Kuku ni shilingi 500.
Yes.
Let us look at 50,000 in terms of how many kukus can be bought by 50,000.
But another issue is which you are confusing. You borrow what you can repay. Even when you go and borrow money from a bank, from Tala, from these lending apps, whichever case, you borrow up to the limit which you feel like you can be able to repay.
Yes.
It's not like all the businesses or all these hustlers require 50K to make a living. Of course, you are not given 50K to go and start a business.
Oh, yes.
You are given whichever amount you'll borrow to sustain something that you're already doing. This notion that we should be given money to start business, I think that is a very wrong notion. And hustlers should not expect that this money will just enable them to start a business from nowhere. I think it is personal financing to facilitate you.
You know, Martin, what you are doing.
In fact, let me
you just said I'm pessimistic, but you look so pessimistic. Because these hustlers do not have businesses. Now you are telling them that without businesses, they cannot be able to.
No, we have a few people.
I think when you talk about hustlers, it doesn't mean they are just idle doing nothing.
Sitting down
That is why these are personal finance
Majority
products.
of them do not do anything for your information.
Majority, but this fund is meant to support something that you're already doing. That is why young people borrow Tala to facilitate whatever they are doing, and some of them repay, some of them do not repay. If you do not repay, you are obviously being...
The ones who do not repay are the ones who don't have anything to do.
What do you... Let's have consensus. I want us to look for consensus. Allow him to finish because you had your time, and then I will pose a question so that we can
I think if young people, you are expecting free money to go and consume, and now say, I didn't have anything to do to repay back the money, then we are very I'm very sorry, because I don't think that is the intention of the hustler fund. Even if the government wanted to do that, it is not sustainable, and it will obviously crumble within the first few months. So what you can urge these hustlers to do, borrow this money. It will be launched in 3 days time.
Sure.
Once it is launched, let us try it out. If you get a chance to borrow and successfully get it, repay it and see how it goes. Otherwise, I don't think it is a bad idea.
It will be a test on our responsibility as
young people.
Because
also,
we've cried that the government is not looking at us. The government
There's
has
no free lunch anyway. Even if the government promises heaven, it will never deliver heaven.
It will not. But
the government has now come. The government has now come, JimTall, and it is giving the young people hope. And there is a hustler fund. You see, this is our country. This country needs to solve its own problems. It has to run, we are asking even the hustlers, whom the rallying call was hustler government, that to enable this country to move, you have to also pay pay something, we are giving you money, make profit, and then pay that interest, allow someone to go to university, allow someone to do this and that, because let a road be,
that is the ideal situation.
Let a road be built because you took a loan and you paid an interest. Let the medical the health system be improved because you took a loan. You see,
I don't know.
That's the intention.
You see, I'm
Jim,
kiss.
kidogo tu. What the concern that I also have, which Jim also noted, is the issue of saving. That element of saving they say for retirement.
Yeah, sure.
The issue of saving is not very clear. We don't know how it will be deducted. Where will that money go? How will you be able to check
he wants to cash
how much
out.
you have?
It's not clear because it will not reach at that. Because I'm telling you, Kenya Kwanza has only 10 years. At most. That's if they go for 10 years.
5 years.
They have.
Sure.
I'm telling you, after after 5 years, you have savings, and you feel like I have enough savings. I want to do something with these savings to improve. So you see, what I'm saying is, this Hustler Fund, I'll explain it in this way. We were there in 2002 when free education was promised for primary school. And Kibaki came in and free education was rolled out. But for you to be enrolled in a primary school, you have to come with a desk, you have to come with this and this, you have to come with this and this.
Yeah, you
Some
have to pay the
hidden
there was some
hidden costs.
It came to 2013. We had the Ruto government. They came in, there was an issue of laptops. You see? So at any given elections, there is a bait. At any given elections. If I told Raila won in these elections, right now we would be arguing about the 6,000 shillings.
So you think the 6,000 was not also practical?
The 6,000 was not practical. Though that was an election agenda like this one for Nini. This for Hustler Fund.
Are you telling me,
I'm a student of finance, and I'll tell you one thing, I'm Kitch.
Yes.
We have not gone to the supplementary budget in Parliament, right?
Yes.
And the main budget is going to be read on July. Where are we getting the money for Hustler Fund? In the first place, the government does not have a place to source Hustler Fund. But to contain the expectations, what do? We build a parameter that is going to impose difficulty and hurdles on the way of the youth applying for this Hustler Fund.
Yes.
It's going to be launched in the next 2 days. And I'll be glad,
3 days,
I'll be glad after the said 14 days, you tell me how many people have been able to access that fund. And you will not have a way of blaming the government because the government has put in measures. You've not observed the measures and you've not complied to the measures. You are not being given the money. Now you are told, here is the money, but these are the measures that you should follow. These are the steps that you should follow.
So you don't meet the measures, the money lies idle.
The money lies idle.
Or you say the money is not there.
And that's why I'm telling, they'll tell you the money is not there. They are telling you the money is there, you apply. But then the procedures are too hectic for you to apply. They will lock you out. So you will believe the money is there, but it's me who has not qualified. You see? So you'll blame yourself instead of blaming the government. There's no Hustler Fund.
Let's wait after 3 days.
No, I want if possible, we liaise with our leaders. We utilize the available funds that are there. The government cannot come and roll out a Hustler Fund when there's Wezo Fund, when there's Youth Fund, when there's Women Enterprise Fund.
But
that is not being utilized.
JimTall, the train has left the station. We are launching the Hustler Fund in 3 days.
So I think we should just wait for the launch and see what happens.
We wait for the launch, but
see what happens
me, I would want to apply. I would want to apply.
Yes,
I would want to apply that
fund. We can only wait.
I would want to apply for that fund. And I'm committed. If at all that fund is there, I would wish to be an example to the youth of how that Hustler Fund can be used. But right now, what I know and what the government, the promises people have been given the government, I really doubt. I really doubt on the practicality of it. We cannot have 250 billion.
We will be back to the round table in the next few days. After 14 days, I want to promise that we'll have you.
Yeah, so after 14 days, we should be back again to
discuss whether it is practical or not. Of course, there'll be. If it will not.
My prediction is.
What's your prediction?
My prediction is it will be launched, but the actual applications will take
a bit of time.
Yeah. Ruto will launch it, and maybe some other processes will follow, probably taking the regulations to Parliament, approving maybe the supplementary budget, because actually we don't have the You don't have the money right now.
You guys are... No, you guys are discouraging us.
No,
there are some of us who are
reality.
waiting. We will be waiting to...
No, we are
like
telling you...
KCP Max...
No, we are telling you
when
to
they
wait.
when they announce results, they normally tell us go
USSD
to
code.
USSD code, pay
So we are
20
waiting.
shillings.
No, you know what I'm saying. Those are speculations.
Yes.
And that's my opinion. I don't have a government agent who has informed me that that thing is not there. That's my opinion. But then we are not saying that thing is not there. We are saying if at all that thing is there, we just want people to have their eyes wide open and their ears very alert, so that they can know, even if this thing is there, how to go about it. You see? So it's like we are trying to enlighten each other. So let's give it a few days. But in my closing remarks about their... In my closing remarks,
don't close.
They're asking, this Hustler thing. No, before you go, I wanted to say something about this Hustler fund.
No, we are not going anywhere. I'm the one moderating this
Hustler
thing.
Fund,
Nobody has told you are going anywhere.
Okay, the Hustler Fund is 250 billion.
It's 50 billion.
It's 50 billion. 50 billion per financial year. And in that, and then just the other day we saw the deputy president so desperate, saying that we need government employees and the employees in the private sector to forego a percentage of their salaries to a pay bill to go and sort in the issues of drought and famine. You see, if we cannot have money to feed our hungry people who are dying, we cannot have money for hustlers who are alive. If we cannot have money for people who are dying, where can we get the money for people who are alive? It doesn't make sense. I don't think it's a priority.
We came to this round table when we were very ambitious. JimTall has come here to kill our spirit, and we are waiting for money in the next 3 days.
No, the money is coming, but that money is virtual. So accessibility to that money, I really doubt it. And I'll be there. I'll have enough bundles in case it's an application to download, and I'll make sure I have the subscription money.
I want Matini.
Okay, maybe
we are running out of time now.
Maybe to give hope to...
We have a few minutes, maybe 2 minutes.
Okay, as I close.
As you
what
close now.
Closing remarks?
Yeah, do your closing
So maybe
remarks.
what is important is that from the signals we are receiving from the private sector concerning the Hustler Fund, we saw Equity Bank say they will pump
some quite substantial
5 times. Government is injecting 50 billion to Hustler Fund, the Financial Inclusion Fund. Now the private sector has come in to give confidence to this Hustler Fund by injecting another. Equity Bank is injecting, says it will inject 250 billion. That is 5 times what?
It's loaning the government.
Not loaning the government.
Loaning the government.
It's complementing.
The government does not have money. That money,
whichever the case.
That's borrowed money.
Kindly let me
He's
finish.
a student of finance. Student of finance, allow this
whichever way it goes.
Yes.
250 billion from Equity Bank will come into the economy, following up the model of Hustler Fund. We know Equity has been financing the grassroots finance machinane, actually the hustlers. So it is a good signal. There's another bank that I heard they also using the same model to pump some capital into the economy. So I think the government move and the strategy is to rally all the other stakeholders to provide capital, affordable capital to the hustlers, which I think it is a good move. If the government had not come up with this hustler fund thing, probably we won't have Equity Bank pledging 250 billion. So it is a move that I think it's towards the right direction to support the hustlers do micro or nano businesses at various levels.
We can never exhaust everything revolving around Hustler Fund and everything. But I'm one